Yo, what's up guys, it's Cree from Colin Cree Shinies, and today we've got some Wi-Fi battles. We're going to be doing some single rank battles. So at the moment, new season's obviously just started in 2020. I've got 2 wins at the moment and 1 loss. So I've already played a few games already, but obviously we'll just jump in really, with the brand new season. So we'll go for single battles in today's video. We will show my opponent my battle team, and we'll see how we get on. To be honest with you, I haven't played too much ranked battles in Pokemon Sword and Shield so far. I've mainly been doing shiny hunting for the most part, so I guess we'll see how this goes. Really, I haven't properly battled since probably like X and Y back in the day. I've had a few battles here and there, watched a few videos on sort of the meta at the moment and stuff like that, but we'll see how this goes anyway. Searching for an opponent. So we're going in with a bit of a different team as well today. Got a few new Pokemon here and there, so we're just really sort of trying things out really just to see how it goes. So just to give a quick sort of overview, we've got Conkeldurr with Iron Fist, we've got Excadrill which has got Mold Breaker, we've got Rotom with Levitate obviously, the Choice Spec set, Mimikyu with the infamous Life Orb set, which I'm sure we all know. We've got Arcanine with Choice Band, and we've got Hydra with Choice Scarf. So my opponent's got a few things. Mainly sort of looks like a rain team, but obviously he hasn't got a Pelipper. So my opponent has 2 dragons, so I think for that particular reason, I think we should definitely lead with Mimikyu, especially for the fact that the Hydreigon is 4 times weak to Fairy. I do kind of feel like I would want to bring the Rotom Wash just for the Charizard, just in case he brings that. I think we bring the Excadrill just because it puts in a bit of work against a bit of his team. It puts in some work against some Levitate users such as Hydreigon, 4 times weak for Toxtricity, and we got the Rock Slide for the Charizard. So we'll go with that. We'll go with this. We'll go with this team. Obviously we're a Focus Sash Excadrill, so if my opponent does decide to knock me down, then obviously we do have that Focus Sash as well. So we'll just see how this goes. As I say, I've had a few battles, but still need to become a bit more familiar with some of the movesets really. So my opponent is going to lead with the Hydra, and obviously I'm going to lead with the Mimikyu. So I think in this scenario really, I don't think there's any reason we wouldn't go for a Sword Stance, because obviously Hydra's special defense, as far as I'm aware, is pretty good, and its physical defense isn't too great, so I think we just kind of go for the Sword Stance. Yeah, so my opponent is going to withdraw, which is quite predictable. So he is going to go out into the Seismitoad, which is a bit of an interesting option actually. Probably on the physically bulk side. So we are now at a +2 Sword Stance, so I kind of want to Dynamax. I think I'm going to Dynamax. I kind of get the feeling that my opponent is going to Dynamax. So I think we are going to Dynamax here, and we're just going to go for the Max Starfall, just plainly for the fact that it does more damage. I do think my opponent is going to Dynamax as well. With us being a +2 Mimikyu, I can't see any problems with that particularly. So I guess we'll just see how this goes. And obviously we do have the Disguise as well. So even if my opponent does get a bit of damage off on me, we're not going to take too much. So we're obviously going to outspeed this thing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so he is going to go for the Dynamax as predicted. So I do think that he is going to be slower than me. I know that Seismitoad tends to be quicker in the rain, Swift Swim I believe. So hopefully we'll get a bit of damage off. I'm maybe not expecting to take this thing out. It'd be nice if we did, but... So we are going to get off on Max Starfall, and it just barely lives. Like, wow. That sucks. Is he focus sashed? He's not sashed, is he? No, wow, he just lived that. Wow, that's crazy. So, my opponent is going to get the Max Geyser off, and obviously that isn't going to do anything to us because he has to break out Disguise first. So, I do kind of get the feeling that my opponent is going to want to Max Guard here just to kind of stall a turn of Dynamax because he knows that I'm +2. So, if he does, you know, so be it. That's kind of predicted. But there's not much we can really do here, so I guess we just go for the Max Phantasm anyway, just in case he does switch out. I don't think he will. I think he will just stay in and click Max Guard or just sack this thing off, one of the two. So we'll just see what my opponent does here. Okay, so he is just going to go for the Max Geyser. Obviously, he has got the rain up. Actually, that was a misplay on my part, really, there. I didn't really think about that, I must be honest. But it's okay, because even if we Max Guarded, really, we would just be stalling our own time anyway for Dynamaxing, considering that we're +2. So we are quite weak here. I do feel, though, as though that if we get another move off, the Life Orb is probably going to take us out. That's okay, because we've got some pretty big damage and we've burned through my opponent's Dynamax quite quickly. Obviously my opponent does have a Hydra, so we do want to be quite careful here with how quickly we get rid of our Mimikyu. So as far as I'm aware, let me just have a quick search for this. I'm pretty sure Hydra ability. Sorry. Let's just have a quick look at this thing. I know that it does have an ability which benefits it through rain. Okay, so it's hydration, so it really just gets away status conditions when it is when it's got status condition in the rain. So we are just going to click back to Starfall here because I'm pretty sure we outspeed this thing. No two ways about it. So this thing should either die or take a lot of damage. Yeah, so this thing is just gone. It's not living that. That's a +2 max Starfall, and Hydra's physical defense is not too great. So we are actually just going to slither on 15 HP with Mimikyu here. And obviously, as we're aware, the Dynamax is going to run out here as well. Now, I'm not too sure whether we outspeed this thing. Do a quick search. I'm not too sure whether we outspeed this thing. I mean, either way, it's probably still worth staying in. I don't know if a Shadow Sneak would take this thing out, so naturally Mimikyu's base stats are faster. I don't think there's any reason to not go for a Shadow Claw here, so I am just going to click Shadow Claw. I don't think he has any priority moves as Toxtricity. Yeah, so we are going to get the Shadow Claw off, hopefully a crit. I think this is dead anyway, yeah, so this thing is just gone, yeah, and it's a crit. I don't think that mattered anyway. So we are going to take the first game with an easy W. We are going to actually just lose Mimikyu right at the end there to Life Orb damage. But that's it, that's the game. So that was a nice easy start, nice good game there. Obviously we predicted our opponent quite well with what he would have brought. So that's pretty good. That's a nice start to the video anyway. So we are going to continue battling also. So I know we're only in Pokeballs here, so you know, nothing crazy at the moment. I know that as we progressively get up the ladder, things will become more difficult. I am aware of that. I know that there's a lot of experienced battlers out there, and people who are a lot better than me, that's for sure. Okay, so we are going to go against my opponent. He's clearly bringing a mono ghost type team. So we've got Frostlass, Corsola, Aegislash, Gengar, Mimikyu, and Dragapult. So clearly in this predicament, we are probably going to want to bring the Mimikyu again, probably the Hydra, just for the fact that we can get some nice Dark Pulses off on his team. I definitely want to bring the Excadrill as well, I think, just plainly because that Mimikyu exists, and obviously we got Mold Breakers, so you get that thing out of the field. So I think we're going to start with Hydreigon. I think... do I want to bring Arcanine? I kind of want to bring Arcanine. I think we're going to bring Arcanine, I think we're going to bring Excadrill, and we'll go with that. Okay, so we are going to go straight into this battle. Hopefully my opponent leads with something that isn't the Aegislash or the Frostlass. Otherwise I would have preferred to have started with the Arcanine, but I just think that Hydreigon is just a good option to go straight in with here. Yeah, so he is going to bring the Dragapult. My opponent's probably going to know I'm Choice Scarfed, but the thing is, really, I don't really have any reason to not go for either a Draco Meteor or a Dark Pulse. Yeah, sorry about that. So we are actually just going to click the Dark Pulse here and hope my opponent doesn't know that I'm Scarfed. However, the thing is, his team is all Mono Ghost anyway. Yeah, so we are actually just going to one-shot that Dragapult with no question at all. So that is absolutely fine. So my opponent is probably going to bring out Aegislash or Frostlass. Oh, he has got the Gengar. Okay, so he's got the Gengar. So, kind of expecting him to be sashed here. I don't really know whether I want to switch. I don't think I really want to switch, just plainly for the fact we have the Arcanine, which obviously has Play Rough. Oh, sorry, no. That's absolutely no use at all I'm talking about there. Well, we could switch out into the Arcanine or the Gengar, sorry, into the Excadrill, but I don't really think it's worth it for what it's worth. I feel like we do need him for other threats if he has them. So I think we're just going to click Dark Pulse again here. I am probably aware that he's going to be sashed, but that should be fine. Hopefully he doesn't get some big damage off on us. Yeah, so he is sashed, so he's probably going to click Sludge Bomb here, I imagine. Or possibly Focus Blast. Oh, so we are going to get our Dark Pulse, which is yeah. So he has got Dazzling Gleam. I did forget about that. So that is really just a learning sort of experience there, really. So but to be fair, even if we switched, you know, he could have gone into one of these Pokemon, but I mean, really, I don't really want to break the sash too early on Excadrill, just in case he has the Mimikyu. So here I think we are... No, I think we're going to go to the Excadrill here. I'm aware that my opponent may have the Mimikyu, but the thing is, it's too risky to sort of go into the Arcanine in this situation. So I think here, let's just have a look at his team again. So we could click the Iron Head, which if he does have another poke, it doesn't really... Any of those Pokemon are fine that he switches into, apart from Aegislash, but I think I'm just going to click into Earthquake just for now. I don't think he's going to Dynamax just yet. So he is going to actually... Oh, right, okay, so he's actually going to Destiny Bond. I should have been aware of that. Okay. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Okay. Right, so it all comes down to my final Pokemon. Hopefully he's got Aegislash. Okay, that's not good. So yeah, I think we just lose here. I don't think there's any way that we really get a W here. I mean, we do have the Intimidate, which could be our win condition. But really, we are going to have to lock ourselves into something that's A, going to kill this thing, and B, not give us too much damage as well. So we are obviously going to have to Dynamax here to increase our chances of survival. So if we just, I don't see any reason to not just go for the Max Flare. He's obviously going to, well actually no, he's not going to probably obviously Dynamax just yet. He's probably just going to click Sword Stance to start with, because I do feel as though that is probably his only win condition here. He probably has to Sword Stance. This battle's not really over just yet, but that Destiny Bond from the Gengar kind of hurt my team just a little bit. Having that Excadrill around for the Mimikyu would have been really nice. So we are going to get our Max Flare off, and we are going to outspeed this Mimikyu as well. We don't see any Dynamax from the Mimikyu, which is kind of predictable. He's probably just going to click the Sword Stance. But we do outspeed this Mimikyu, so we shouldn't really have a problem here taking this thing out. So he is going to Sword Stance, which obviously we knew about. There's no way that he can click Shadow Sneak. He cannot take us out from that range with a Shadow Sneak. So we are just, there's no reason why we don't click Max Flare here. We've got the Sun up. So he's going to Dynamax. I think we should still probably take this thing out. It just depends if he outspeeds. I don't know if he does. I know Arcanine's pretty quick. And we are Choice Banded. I know that's not going to affect us now with Dynamax. But he has lost a little bit of HP to Life Orb as well. So, okay, so my opponent is going to go for a Max Guard, which is fine. He's only actually stalling one turn of Dynamax. So, I don't know if my opponent goes for the Max Guard again. I think it's, if I remember, I don't know how the Max Guarding works. I don't know if it is a 50% chance to just like protect on the second turn. So he's not actually going to click Max Guard, so I'm going to get a Max Flare off with the Sun up, and that is going to take out the Mimikyu. So that is GG. That was a very close game actually. That Excadrill was a bit of a misplay on my half, I have to admit. But I guess it's just a learning curve, really. I mean, if I see a Gengar like that again in the future, I would have absolutely no reason to not switch out into like Arcanine, for example. But it's kind of also why I'd prefer to run Sword Stance on my Excadrill, just because we could have got a nice +2 setup there as well, and also tried to sort of out-predict my opponent's Destiny Bond. But it's one of those things. I mean, I've got Rapid Spin on my Excadrill, just for like setups and stuff, but really because we're sashed, if we actually switch into any Stealth Rocks or any of the hazards anyway, we are still going to take a bit of damage. So okay, so we've got, my opponent has Morpeko, Hydreigon, Mimikyu again, Flygon, Corviknight and Salazzle. So a bit of an interesting team. So definitely going to be bringing the Excadrill here again, and going to probably utilise it a bit more carefully. Going to bring it for the Morpeko, the Mimikyu, as well as the Salazzle, which is 4 times weak. We're definitely going to want to bring either Hydreigon or Rotom Wash for that Corviknight, which is a bit of a pain. We are going to need something to deal with the Flygon, so that's probably going to be Ice, but we don't have any Ice here. Well, we do have the Conkeldurr though with Ice Punch. Questions to be want to get into that. We're not going to lead with Excadrill. I think we should lead with... I think if we lead with Hydreigon again, I think we should bring the Rotom Wash as well as the Excadrill. Yeah, so there are a few threats on that team, especially the Corviknight, which I'm pretty scared of, because my team consists of quite a few physical attackers, so Corviknight is just pretty much going to eat that up without any problem. So if we bring the Rotom Wash as a special attacker, that should hopefully get through that Corviknight. So Okay, so my opponent is going to lead with the Hydra also. So it's actually going to be a battle of speed here. Not too sure how I feel about that. I think that we... I can't remember what nature we are here actually. I think that we are modest, so we're not timid. Which scares me a little bit. Although I think we're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna go for the Draco Meteor. Hopefully my opponent. Okay, so bit of a misplay on my half. My opponent is just gonna one-shot me. That sucks a lot, actually. So that really does suck. So here we're just going to go out into the Escadrille. So that was either a speed tie and he just barely outspeeded me, or he was timid. Probably the fact that he was timid, just in case there are any other Hydrogons on ladder as well that he comes up against. So I think here, as long as my opponent isn't rocking the Corviknight, I think Ironhead's a pretty safe play to just click here, just in case the Mimic... I don't think the Mimikyu is going to come out. If that's the Corviknight, I don't really... I mean, this is not going to go great. Okay, so here's the Flygon actually, which is actually not too bad. Yes, we get some nice damage off on the Flygon right there. So here, I think he's Choice Scarfed. I don't really know what Flygons want to do at this point. Obviously, I don't know if he definitely knows that I'm sashed. I mean, I can't see any really big problems with going out into Rotom. I think I am just going to go out into the Rotom, just in case he does click Earthquake, which looks highly probable here. Just in case he doesn't think that I'm running the Rotom this time round. So he is going to go through an Earth Power, so that is a good prediction on my half. Obviously we do have the Levitate there. So here, we know that my opponent has got Hydreigon. I think really that Rotom is my win condition at this point, so I think we're going to Dynamax and click Max Geyser just to get up the rain. Just in case he is bringing some of the other threats, such as Salazzle, which could be a little bit of a problem for Rotom Heat. Sorry, Rotom Wash even. So we are going to Dynamax. Obviously, if my opponent is going to Dynamax as well, we are going to outspeed my opponent. We don't see any switches, so he is staying in. So he is just going to sack this thing off, clearly. So yeah, so we are going to get a Max Geyser off. There's no way that's not taking that thing out. I mean, I'd be pretty shocked if it didn't. So it is going to go down to the Max Geyser, and we're going to get the rain up, which is great. So the Flygon is going to go down as well. So at this point, my opponent is probably going to go out into the Hydreigon, I imagine. Oh, so he's actually going to go out into the Mimikyu. Okay. I was kind of hoping that he didn't have that at all. So, I think here really we've got to go for the... I mean, I don't think it particularly matters too much. I think what we'll do is we'll click the Phantasm for now. So it's obviously not going to do any damage because he does have the Disguise. So we are probably predicting a either a Sword Stance or just a straight up Dynamax. Very play rough. I think he's going to have to Sword Stance to have any chance of winning this game. So he's actually just going to straight up Shadow Claw, which is not going to do too much. I don't think that's a crit. It's not a crit. So really, I think that was a little bit of a shabby play on my opponent's half. He really probably just threw his only way of winning away. I think for the fact that he knows I'm probably going to take this thing out, I'm going to click Max Geyser, because either option, if the Hydra King comes back in, is going to do obviously not very effective damage, but we do have the Rain up and it's going to be Stab as the Max Geyser, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the Hydra King come back in here, to be honest, just because he knows that Mimikyu is going to go down, but he might know that I'm rocking the Excadrill in the back, so no, he is just going to sack this thing off. I think he realises that his only opportunity to sort of kill my Rotom Dynamax there was gone, which is a little bit of a misplay on his half. Definitely with a Sword Stance there. So my opponent's last Pokemon obviously now is going to be the Hydreigon, and we do know that he still has his Dynamax available as mine goes down. So obviously not the greatest of situations here. We are probably just going to stay in and click the Hydra Pump anyway. No reason not to. He could click Draco Meteor here or just straight up Dynamax, I don't know. So he is just going to straight up Dynamax. There is a chance I could outspeed him because his Choice Scarf isn't going to be active whilst he's Dynamaxed. But we'll see. Hope we should get probably either half or just short half of the Rain up, I imagine, with the Hydro Pump. If we land it, that is. So he is going to outspeed me. I don't know if this is going to take this thing out. Yeah, so it is going to go down. Rotom is not surviving that. So that's unfortunate. So my last Pokemon is obviously going to be the Excadrill. And I am not too sure really how well that we're going to be able to take this thing out. So obviously our most powerful move is going to be the Earthquake, and we obviously Hydreigon I am aware that has Levitate, but we do have the Mold Breaker, so no reason not to click the Earthquake. I could click the Iron Head and hope he flinches, but he does outspeed me anyway. So he is going to do just under half, and he is going to get an attack drop, which is probably what he was aiming for there. Yeah, so we're going to do absolutely nothing to that Hydreigon. So yeah, I think it's, unfortunately at this point, I think it is just going to have to be GG. I don't think there's much we can do here. I really thought that Excadrill was going to do a lot more to Hydreigon than that. I guess that attack drop really matters. Yeah, so we're going to lose just barely on 13, but I don't think this makes any difference now. I'm -2 attack. Yeah, I may as well just forfeit. Yeah, so it was a pretty close game. I don't agree with some of my opponent's plays there. I do think that he could have got Sword Stance up on the Mimikyu, but then again, I probably should have thought about bringing the Mimikyu to deal with the Hydreigon if off chance he had it. So it was a good game anyway. Quite a few good games there. Got 2 wins and 1 loss. So I mean, I'm not complaining too much. You know, there were quite some good games to be fair. And obviously we are still learning as well because I haven't played too many games as of yet. So we will have a look at my opponent's team anyway. So he's got Sashmo, Pico. Yeah, so he was a Choice Scarf. And yeah, so he was timid, like I said earlier. Shucks a little bit. It was a bit of a gamble, but it was, you know, sometimes you just have to do these things just to sort of learn. My opponent was actually running U-turn on the Hydreigon, whereas mine was running Flamethrower instead. Obviously he had the Lightfall Mimikyu, which is quite common as we see on ladder nowadays. He does have the Sword Stance on there, so could have clicked that really. Quite interesting Flygon set actually. He's running an Assault Vest Flygon. Boom Burst, Earth Power, U-turn and Giga Drain. That's actually really interesting. So he was probably expecting to live that Max Geyser so that he could Giga Drain me, which would have been a bit of a sad time if that did happen. He's probably also hoping to outspeed me as well because he was once again timid. So yeah, so all round it was a pretty good battle anyway, I do have to say. And yeah, so we'll go from there anyway. So that's it for today's battles, guys. If you do enjoy these videos, then do obviously comment and let us know if you've got any team codes that you want us to use specifically in the future. this was a really good learning experience anyway, as I say, because we do need to get back into battles again. Obviously it's just me on my own today, but we will be making videos with Connor again in the future. We've got an Elgato set up. I'm going to be moving house next week. I'm going to be getting my desk back, my chair, my whole setup that I used to have. So we are going to be definitely enjoying to make these videos once again. And if you enjoy, as I say, if you enjoy these videos, guys, then please leave a like, drop a comment of what teams that you want us to use in the future. If you've got any rental codes, let us know as well. And until then, we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you very much. See you later.